said, this has been 6-8 months, maybe even a year in the making. I am thrilled to get these guys in here. I've been a Papa Wheelee fan for years. I've been coming to see you for years and years and years. So I've always liked the band. I've seen it in multiple iterations. Like I said, I think one of the first shows I ever saw down here when we moved was you guys at Soldier City. And I have a great time every time. So for anybody who does not know you guys, which I think is like barely anyone, but you'd be surprised how many newer people watch the band crawl that really don't know all the bands, right? How would you describe what you play?
Classic rock, new country, like a, what's that, country rock? What would you call that? Country rock, and some new rock.
I've seen you play some newer stuff. What's the newest thing you've added? Like, not what you put on the list, but like newer music.
Wow.
Oh, did I blank you out on your set list? Don't you hate that?
Yeah, I do.
I mean, honestly, we haven't done any new rock lately. When we first came out in '09, all we did was new rock.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Nickelback and Seether and Theory of a Dead Man and all that stuff was really big. You know, and JRR.
Sure.
In '09, JRR was only playing new rock, so we took advantage of that. We only played new rock.
Makes perfect sense.
And then it seemed crazy every time we would, if we added a member or changed a member, you know, you kind of lose some of those songs to go back to some more of the standards.
Right.
And then currently, I'm kind of happy about what we do. We play it's all familiar. You know, we play a lot of classic rock that's super familiar.
So they're going to know it when they hear it.
Sing along, and then the new country. We play a lot of new country.
So tell me, what do you think is your most popular songs that you guys play? There's got to be something you know the crowd is going to react to every time when you do.
Well, there's a certain group that comes out that loves Stranger.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And we do some Stranger tunes.
Okay.
So we get that all the time, which
Okay.
we don't mind. We love it. But
Yeah, I think you're the only band covering Stranger, too, actually. I haven't heard another band do that.
Currently, right now, we may be the only
I think you are.
Yeah.
I haven't. That's very, very cool. And then, what do you like to do? Like, is there a song on the set list that you just love to sing?
I like the Foreigner stuff.
Okay.
I like Jason Aldean.
Yeah.
I like that stuff.
What about you? What's your favorite thing on the set list? That you
Favorite
look
thing
forward-
that we're doing right now?
Yeah, you look forward to playing every time that you
Man,
sing.
I love the way Dave sings the Foreigner stuff. We're on point with that. I like the country stuff because it always fills up the dance floor.
Yeah, and
You know?
that's one of the things I've always liked is even though you're a rock band, a lot of people think rock band, I'm going to sit and I'm going to listen. You know, they're going to, like concert style, right? They're going to, every time I've come to see you, people are dancing, right? People are dancing, they're having fun, they're up on the, it's not a sit and watch show. It's very much a sing along, dance along, have a good time. And I think you're in year 14.
Yeah, we just had the 13, so we're working on 14 now.
That is
Oh,
crazy.
Yeah.
That is a long time. And now, so if they want to see you, they can catch you at OB's, right? They can catch you at Wing Shack.
Yep.
They can Dexter's Lake Mary.
Yep.
Where else?
Castleberries.
Castleberries. Which,
Oasis.
are you still at the Oasis? I wasn't sure you were still going out there. Okay, so you're at the Oasis. Where else?
I think we're at the Oasis in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Are you really? Okay. You know what happens at the Oasis stays at the Oasis,
Yeah.
right? I've told you my theory. I think that stripper pole he has is bolted to the Earth's core. I have seen that hold like 9,000 pounds of weight on, and that thing is, I love that place. And Chuck is great. So there's got to be, with all the times you guys have been playing, there's got to be something that happened that you're like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. There has to be like a funny moment, a strange moment. See, I told you, because I know these two especially combined, that's like a science experiment, right? Like, I know there's gonna be something.
Well, can I tell the story?
Do it.
I mean, just only because you brought it up. The craziest thing that's happened recently, Dave and I, since '09, we put the band together in '09, and we've been doing this thing. It happened one night at Bike Week in front of, I don't know, 400 or 500 people. And the last song, we're playing the last chord, the place is, you know, going crazy, whatever. I waved Dave off to the other side of the stage, and I took my guitar off, and I tossed it the length of the stage, and it went through the air like a yard dart.
Yeah.
Dave caught it. It was one of my Les Pauls. Dave caught it, strapped it on, went out to the front of the stage, kept the cord ringing. The place went nuts. So because of that, every time we're at any Bike Week event, they're like, are you throwing the guitar tonight? Are you guys going to throw the guitar? And we did. We've probably done it maybe 16 or 17 times.
Have you broken a guitar yet?
Not until recently.
That's the point he's getting to.
Oh, okay.
Wait, how did you word it? A story.
Something crazy that you're like, oh my god, I can't believe that happened.
Yeah. So I've pretty much retired a couple Les Pauls that I've had forever, and my wife bought me a PRS.
Okay.
Pretty famous.
Yep.
It's blue. It photographs outrageous. It's a beautiful guitar. I had it at the Molly Hatchet gig that we played at the Doghouse, right? Doghouse.
Yep. We opened for Molly Hatchet.
The stage was kind of low. The crowd was energetic. I thought, this
You
is...
can hear it coming.
No, and I go, it's just one of those days. So I motioned Dave. We walked off the front of the stage.
And I'm going...
It steps down.
No,
it steps down about a foot. We're, Thatcher's trash canning. We're playing the last chord. Chris is just riding the E. I'm letting it ring out. We walk off the stage. The place is going. They know what's coming because we've done it so many times. I take the PRS off, and I don't know. I think a light got in Dave's eyes, and it went.
Take that.
It went right. It went right through his hands. It wasn't his fault, but it hit the ground, which in front of the stage was kind of like dirt, gravel.
Yeah.
It hit the ground and the neck totally
just
separated.
disintegrated. Yeah.
And I thought at first glance it was a total loss.
Oh, it wasn't.
No, I've so I reached out to multiple people. Steve Savage from Hypersona had a custom guitar, and I think Sam had a custom guitar built by Mark. They have a friend named Mark.
Okay.
Sorry, his last name is escaping me right now because I'm only on camera. But they've had these custom guitars built, and they're beautiful. So after reaching out to a couple different people to fix the PRS with no response, I'm too busy, we don't do that anymore, it'll be 6 months before we can touch it. I reached out to Mark. Mark said, bring it down. So I drove down to Palm Bay. I gave it to him. He said it would be like 2 or 3 weeks. He had it ready in 7 or 8 days.
Okay.
And he brought it back to life. It looks great. Yeah.
Now, is that the guitar your wife bought you?
Yes.
So you're like in seriously hot water for that?
I was in hot water, but I took money out of the cookie jar to repair it.
Okay.
And so I had to have it repaired, but really it wouldn't have mattered what it cost to repair it. I had to have it back to play it.
Sure.
Because there was no alternative. There was no version of the story where I just kept it in 2 pieces in a gig bag, or taped it on the wall, or put it in some kind of like vanity or whatever. So yeah, I got and I think I'm gonna have a guitar made by him just because we have this relationship, and he's built guitars for Pete.
Is that Star Guitars?
No, not Kip from Star Guitars. Okay. It's help me with the last name.
I can't think of his name.
Mark.
Anyway, get it, but so have you ever thought about having, like, because you do this at all the Bike Week gigs, just having like a Silvertone cheapo guitar?
Obviously, after this,
we talked about it.
This was the first time in 10 or 12, 13 years. We've probably done it. I would say 15, 16
But
times.
one time.
Yeah.
Well, when he
like
throws
it's
the
raw of
PRS.
averages, right? Right. When you have the nicest guitar.
Yeah. So they just cost too much money. You know what I mean? And I'm not a guitar collector. I'm not in the business of collecting guitars. I have 5 really nice guitars that go to work, and we have we have a good time with them. But since we broke the one, Dave and I are like, how do we not just have a Hondo or some kind of $300 pawn shop guitar that we throw at the end? And I just don't, you get into a gig, you want to get in and get out, you want to make it easy. I don't carry around a bunch of stuff. I take 2 guitars out that work and do a good job. But yeah, I don't plan on throwing another guitar.
I wouldn't think you're throwing another expensive guitar for sure.
Yeah, it's Go ahead.
After that gig, 30 minutes after that gig, we were leaving. We had another show that night with the duo.
We had a
Oh, wow.
To drive over to the Whiskey to do a duo. Boy, the silent treatment.
Oh,
man.
That was a gift guitar and a PRS.
Dave kept saying, dude, I'm so sorry, man. And I just couldn't speak. My heart was broke.
Was your wife with you?
No, she didn't go to the first show, but she met us at the second show. And we have great friends and great family to come out and see us play, and they can't help themselves. So when the guitar hit the ground and split, and it was a clean break, that's why.
Well, that's why you could repair it.
Yep. The cameras came out, so everybody took pictures. Well, they were sending her live
before he could tell her.
footage before I could tell her. So that's the craziest. I think that's the craziest thing. I've never broken a guitar ever. So
Well, throwing it could do that.
yeah.
Yes.
But now on my behalf, I told Jack, I said, hey, Gronk even drops passes from
Right.
three.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah,
I'm
so
impressed that you
I don't
caught
know
it
if that's
15,
good.
16 times.
There's plenty of videos, man.
Bill Hamilton used to do the same type of thing.
Yeah.
He would take his guitar. He's a great showman out front. He had a silver tone. That's why I use his name. He would flip it up in the air and catch it so the headstock was in his hand, the body was in the air, and he would balance it. And then he would flip it back up in the air, catch it, and go right into it.
Nice.
And we played Iron Horse years ago. It was 500 degrees in the shade. Everybody's dripping wet. You know, it's summertime. Like and he did that. He put it like this, and then he threw it in the air. And when you could see that when he caught the body, it just right through because he was soaking wet.
Yeah.
And I was like, I thought he broke his Les Paul because it looked like a Les Paul.
Right.
And I'm like, dude. And he's like, oh no, man, it's a silver tone. They're $99. I'm like, oh okay, that makes sense. I can't imagine doing that with valuable gear. But now, so you're gonna buy a junker?
I mean, I probably have a junker in a closet somewhere. You know, it's just I'm not gonna play that all night. So it just
No, your last song of the night.
Yeah, so I have to get into that kind of frame of mind, I guess. But we don't do it every night. But
No, it's just the bike week gigs.
bike
You said
week,
because
you
people
have good crowds. They're high energy.
You know I'm coming to a bike week gig now to see you throw a guitar. So you're gonna do that in Leesburg because that's Bike Fest.
I mean, I'm not gonna say it's never gonna happen again. I don't know that I'll throw that guitar.
I wouldn't throw it until you have a junker to throw.
Yeah.
For sure. So
Yeah.
so tell me. Okay, by the way, that's awesome. Like that's top 10.
If you could see the look on my face,
I could only imagine.
up until that point, I actually didn't think it was possible to drop it because we had done it successfully so many times that I was like, we're never going to drop it.
It's
But,
the Russian gymnastics team, man. Eventually you're missing. You're gonna fall down.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. So tell me, you're constantly adding new songs. We all are, right? How are you picking these? Are you just grabbing what you like? Are you getting requests from fans? Can fans give you requests and say, man, I'd love to hear you guys
Sure.
do this?
Sure.
Actually, probably 7 out of the last 10 songs we've added have been from family or friends.
That's
or people
awesome.
that
Who've come to see the band and check it
Yeah.
out. And so you'll add them if enough people ask for them?
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I know I'm putting you on the spot, and I do the same thing. I blank out also. Can you tell me what some of those new ones you put on the list are? I'm the same way. I would be like,
We added a great song that I've always wanted to play, but it didn't seem popular enough. You know what I mean? Not a lot of people know it. But a friend of ours asked us repeatedly to learn it, and we added Peace Pipe by Cry of Love.
okay. I'm not familiar with that one, but I'm sure if I heard it, I would
It
be.
came out in like the early
know it.
90s, but it was kind of a Black Crowes, kind of southern, very cool band. A great 1 or 2 albums. And they had the song was on MTV. They had a video for it. I loved it as a kid, and and we got a request for it, and we learned it, and I think we sound great about it.
How often are you adding new stuff? You've been 14 years in the saddle. You've got a library.
I played 4 songs for him on the way up here. We're gonna probably add
Really?
it.
Yeah.
Okay,
I like
so
theirs.
you're always adding.
Yeah, we try. Yeah.
So how many do you have now?
We just did the Wing Shack 2 nights in a row. 3-4 weeks ago, and we played 2 separate.
Totally different sets? No overlap.
Well, his song, he only has so many, so we did his, but mine, all different.
That's
songs.
awesome.
So
We're
that's
trying
like-
to get to that point too, where you could do 2 nights,
Yeah.
no
It's
real
like-
overlap.
Yeah, I only sing about 10 songs a night, so I had to do both of those.
That makes sense.
I do probably 32
Yeah.
songs.
Different each
Yeah,
night.
Both
So-
nights I did.
That's awesome. And now let me ask you. So I'm getting older. I know you're not.
Yes, I am.
I'm getting older. But are you still? Do you have a problem singing a full night? Like a lot of bands now have 2, 3 singers in them. My band has 2, 3 technically. Dave Mander sings lead on a bunch of stuff too. And it's harder and harder to do 4 hours of singing and singing and singing and singing.
The only reason I think that I sing as much as I do in Papa Wheelee is really just to be able to add just better songs. I think, you know what I mean. I don't think Dave can sing 4 hours a night.
Yeah.
We're fixing to go 3 or 4 nights in a row here.
Yeah, we
this
got
week.
we got the 3 and then the double. I got a double on Saturday, but it's when he's out. Sometimes he's out.
Yeah.
And I'll get John Pascolas to fill in.
Oh, okay.
And I'll sing the whole night.
And it's no issue at all.
No, I mean, I don't save the Foreigner and the stuff to the end. I do it in the middle of the night.
When you're still powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
I
very
mean,
cool.
You got to kind of, and I'm not doing Journey and Yes and stuff like that either.
You're staying in your range.
Yeah, I keep it in my range. I mean, I've done it long enough to know.
That's the challenge. Our singers, even though
Yeah.
there's 3 of them, we sing a lot of stuff that's on that edge. They're doing Bruno Mars and Aretha Franklin
Right.
and Journey, and so you got to mix and match. Yeah, and our guitar player Dave Mander does like 7-8 gigs a week, and it's the same thing. He can sing, and it doesn't affect him at all. Are you classically trained, or are you guys just self-taught?
I'm not classically trained.
So you just know what to do.
Well, I've been doing it. God, when I was singing for my family when I was 6 years old. My mom and dad used to take me to family outings and bring Sonny and Cher 45s.
Yep.
So I'd start singing Sonny's part, and then I'd sing Cher's part.
Okay.
So, but no, I started playing music in '81, so I've been doing it 40 years.
A long time. And how long have you been playing? It's got to be a while.
Yeah, I've been playing 30 years. I started late actually. I didn't pick up the guitar until I was like 17 or 18. So
Oh, really?
yeah, I'll be 48 this year, and yeah, 30 years.
I'm older than you. So
And literally the first gig I got paid for it. So I've been playing music for 30 years.
as soon as you got paid, you're like, I'm onto
Yeah,
something.
I'm like, this is cool, So
Now, do you book the band?
Yeah, I do.
Are you the one? So I love the graphics you guys put together. Matter of fact, I think I can go back just to one of the it's hard to see on my screen here. We'll use that.
Yeah.
I think that stuff makes all the difference in the world on 2 levels. First of all, when you're scrolling and a band posts like we're playing here,
yeah,
that isn't going to catch your eye, especially if it's a picture of the band and you know the band. We all follow each other. We all like each other. The clubs all know most of the bands. When you get so much stuff in your social feeds on whatever channel, that does not stop you from scrolling. I'm like, oh, Speed Limit 70 must be playing. Oh, this one must be playing. Like whoever it is, and it's cool because you see the picture. But this is the kind of stuff that if there's a sudden color change on your screen, and all of a sudden there's big text, and you stop for a second to see what it is. I think this stuff is ingenious, and I know the clubs in particular, they care about it.
Yeah.
And you've probably heard me on the show. I try not to do too much of this, but I will hassle a venue if they're not doing their part.
Right.
I will say like, hey, wait a minute, they're
There's
not
a few-
posting.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you've been told, like we've been told,
Yeah.
it was a great night, but we didn't really have that many people. It's like, well, that's a 50-50. I need to bring mine. You need to bring yours. Right. I notice them reposting your graphics, and when I do the band crawl, you're easy. I take your flyer, I throw it on a slide, and say that's where Wheelhouse is, or that's where Papa Wheelee is. Are you doing these yourself?
Dave, yeah.
So you're a graphic artist during the day?
No, not during the day.
You're not doing it during the day?
Just at night.
Just at night. But did you like learn this on your own, or
I
you
did
just
it on my own.
Really?
Just like singing, yeah.
really? So is this like Photoshop?
Yes,
like
Photoshop.
full-blown?
Well, I use Photoshop or I use CorelDRAW. Either or.
I think the graphics are great, and I didn't
thank you.
use the Doghouse one because if I cover your gig, if you send it to me and you're like, I'm playing here and here, but I cover the club, then it just goes on the club.
Understand.
And it's because there's only so much time to put these things together. But the Doghouse one was my favorite because you had the golden retriever and the Doghouse. I think that stuff is awesome, and I think it's getting so I'm in a dance band, right? We're a little bit different. There are a lot of venues that will book you will not book me. They won't book us for Bike Week. They don't want a dance band. They want a rock band. We're not a fit at OB's or the Alley, or we're just not a fit.
Right.
There's a lot more competition in the rock band space than there's ever been post-COVID. It seems like more and more there's more bands that are coming out. There's the venues are getting pickier with who they book. I think this stuff probably makes a difference. Are you hearing anything from the venues or seeing them do anything with it?
I can tell by my calendar we're busier this year than we've been in past years, way before COVID. I mean, I can book this band and to do every weekend.
Yeah.
I see every week.
Or 3 nights a week.
Yeah.
Every week
Easy.
I see you're out playing one or the other.
But we work 40-hour weeks. We have day jobs.
Right, to afford to play music.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right,
Exactly.
exactly right.
They gotta buy the equipment somewhere, right?
Especially if you're throwing guitars around.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? But it has to be making a difference. And I
think it does.
I keep I tell other bands and I tell the venues, this is the stuff you need to do. It makes a difference. It makes a difference for your band if you're trying to get in and a club goes and looks at your stuff and they see, oh, you have X number of followers, but you also have events, you have graphics posted up there, you've got, like you're doing stuff to push your show, they are much more likely to book you. So we're helping Fredsters, the place I told you about. It's brand new. And they're in a hard location, only in the sense that there are no clubs in Maine. So when you think about you're going to go out on a Friday night or a Saturday night, you're going to rotate around, Maitland isn't on the list.
You didn't think, yeah, you
It's
don't
not
think
on the
about
list.
Maitland.
And it's probably 15 minutes from the nearest club. I'll bet you it's 15 minutes from them the Murano or them the Post time. Like, it's going to be right about there. So they have to get people in the door. So they asked us, what bands do you think would be good? I have a list of bands that are amazing, but I have a different list of bands that are amazing and will bring people. And they need the people right now because they're a new venue. And that's where I think, like I said, I think this stuff is great. And I think more bands, if they can, I mean, you've got to have either the talent to do it or somebody who can help you. Like, I can't make that. I'd have to, turn it over to somebody and be like, make me pretty pictures. But I know Nicole O'Brien does it for multiple bands. And there's someone else who was doing it, and the name is drawing a blank, but was making flyers up for the bands. Like, I think this is worth it. I think this stuff makes a difference, and it kind of separates the pack a little bit. And I'm glad to hear that you guys are as booked as you are. And I know you're not in Nobody's Fool.
I'm not,
right? I know, but I was thrilled to see that do as well as it did.
Yeah,
It was like, hey, we're gonna make a Cinderella tribute band, and by the way, we're at Earth Day birthday. It was like it just took off.
I was thrilled, and I was thrilled that Dave went to bass.
Yeah, how
Because
cool
he
was
wasn't-
that?
He could play, but he wasn't playing bass in a band, and I thought it was killer.
When I first heard the name, I assumed you were gonna sing. Just thinking about. But I think it's really cool that you're on bass, and the
fun.
lineup is killer. And again, there's bands that come out like your duo, right? Wheelhouse decided they were doing acoustic. You're everywhere. Full Circle came back. They were Main Street Station New Year's Eve. Jet puts out the Jet County Dragsters. They're booked. There's certain bands that have a good enough marketing presence behind them that these clubs are like, oh, you're in that? Sure, we'll do it. Whereas even my own band, I think we do a good job marketing. It's the Shoemaker's Kids Going Barefoot, right? Because I'm in a marketing firm. But I don't think we do as good a job as you guys are doing. And I think that makes a difference. I think when, if I left my band and went to a new band, I don't know that a club owner would be like, oh, well, you're with them here, go ahead. But I think they would with you guys and Torn. Torn makes great flyers, very visual, very colorful. They put them out. Like, I think that all makes a difference. And just, I guess I brought it up to just say kudos for 14 years in, not just sitting on your butt and being like, we're Papa Wheelee.
And it's just being consistent. I
Yeah,
think,
every week.
I think Dave from day one has always done that with the flyers, the graphics, and I think from day one we've always just tried to play great songs and get people involved or engaged.
Sure.
And we're very approachable. I mean,
No, I've known that forever.
So when we go out, like we don't sit backstage. You know what I mean?
Sure.
We don't go sit in our truck or we have to call somebody or whatever. We go out in the crowd.
And it makes a difference.
And we remember names. Like if you go out and remember someone's name, that you got them for life, man. If you
And
go
I'm
out,
so bad with names.
yeah,
too.
and that's
I'm awful.
you just have to make an effort, and I think, and you can't every single person, every single
No,
name.
no.
But if you're consistently doing that stuff, I think that's And Dave and I have been very lucky. We've had to change members.
Right, I think we all have.
Yeah, we've had a couple drummers, and but man, we've gotten lucky. Every time we make a move, we've gotten someone great. Like we've had some really good drummers.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes they don't work out. Sometimes their job is more demanding, and they're needed somewhere else.
Sure.
And they go, man, you guys are playing too much. I got to take some time off. And then we've gotten really lucky. We've had Eli. Norm Goebel played drums
He was
for us.
fantastic.
Our buddy Tim Tackett, and then Thatcher. I mean, holy cow. We have Thatcher on, in our band right now. So yeah, Mike Russo.
Mike Russo, yeah.
We've gotten really lucky with some great that have always kept the train rolling.
Sure.
We never had to take 6 months off to work in a drummer.
Which could kill you.
Anytime we've gotten a drummer, they're like, I need 2 weeks, and they get the song list. Bass players, we've had some really good bass players. So.
And part of it is that, you two are the face of the band. And typically, the singer and or the lead guitar player or what everybody knows, unless you are a drummer or you are a bass player where you're like a fan of that person in the band, to a club owner, I think as long as you keep the front the same, they'll give you a shot regardless of lineup. The only time we've had, we've been fortunate, we've had some great singers, and that's the only time a club owner will pause for a second and be like, who's singing with you now?
Yeah.
Is it the girl in the video? Is it the guy in the video?
Yeah, right.
And you're fortunate that you two have been playing together the whole time, right? Like, I think you two have never left Papa Wheelee,
Well, it was a
correct?
little break.
Yeah, I was out a couple years.
Okay.
13 to 16.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. Okay, but
Yeah.
I mean, as long as you two are staying in the front, and again, it's mainly the singer, but it's singer lead guitar. I mean, that makes it easier to go back into the clubs and get booked.
And that's
they
what I
know-
mean by consistency. I mean, Dave's getting phone calls. They just call back because they can always talk to Dave or.
Now I got one more question for you. So when you guys got here, we were talking about cars, and I know you work at a collision place, but you're not a car guy, so to speak. And
I've never built a car from the
right,
ground
you're
up.
not your thing.
I
And
love cars. Yeah.
You're not really a car guy per se, right? So how did we get Papa Wheelee? I mean, it's a hot rod car name, right? Unless
Right.
and I love it, but I'm just curious.
I love this story, and I think Dave and I have two interpretations of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, mine is what I remember in March of '09. That's when we started talking.
Yep.
And we called up Vince for bass and Eli for drums.
Yep.
So we met and we did a jam and everything was great. We loved it.
Yep.
So we said, okay, we had to come up with a name. We started thinking of a name. Nah, that's stupid. Nah. And Eli popped up with, he said Papa something and Papa something, and he said Papa Wheelee. And we all started laughing. We just started laughing. And I'm going,
Yeah,
That's it.
that was my thought. I'm going, man, that's
Yeah.
it right there. Everybody's laughing.
Is that how you remember it?
Yeah, something like I think Eli was trying to come up with something that had two meanings. Like the Papa Wheelie is obviously a Papa Wheelie,
Right.
but it's also Papa
Yep.
Wheelie.
Yep.
And yeah, we were laughing. I remember we met at a sports bar. We were having draft beer and wings, and he just spits out. And I remember Dave spit out like a chicken wing. And I had like draft beer coming out of my nose because he said Papa Wheelie, and it was so ridiculous. I think we walked away from that meeting saying it's good enough to use temporarily, but I want to
But then it
replace it.
stuck.
Once Dave, speaking of graphics, once Dave did the hot rod with the smoke,
Which is
coming off
awesome.
the tires, it stuck,
That's
and it's
it.
literally been the marquee, the mascot from. If you see, Dave could put out only the hot rod with the smoke coming off the tire.
I don't think I have one with
from
that
Papa
on right
Wheelie.
now.
We literally could put that on a shirt, and everybody would know that was Papa Wheelie.
And I was
because
just-
we've been using it for 13 years.
And do you? I know we're running low on time. Do you have shirts and merch still available? Can they buy them? Or like not really.
Well, that's what I do for a living too.
Right, understood.
Yeah, so we carried them for probably 10 years, and it was another job, man.
I'm with you.
It
I'm
was
with you.
another job, so I just
They always
kind of
sold.
slacked off.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'll bet.
But you
Yeah,
had to,
especially with a cool
you know,
logo.
Yeah, you had to tell people that no, I don't have any mediums this week,
Yeah.
or I don't have any larges this week,
And they
you
can
know.
start stocking them and
Yeah.
carrying inventory and
Yeah.
trap.
But yeah, like Dave said, he would come in with his guitar and his mic stand, and he had this roll toad
Yep.
that he would roll in all
For
the
the merch.
you know, and he had
And
to
then the
manage it.
stands
Yeah.
that have to hang it on.
No, I
and
don't
the
blame you for
butts.
that. We're getting too old for that.
Yeah.
Well, I am thrilled you guys could make it. Like I said, it's been I've been a fan a long time. I say that every week on the band crawl.
We
I know
appreciate
you
that.
watch it. Last week
I
I
do.
said he didn't send me something. He was like, by the way, I sent it to you. So
Every week.
I'm thrilled you watch it. I'm thrilled you could do it. I'd love to have you guys back on sometime. We'll do that. We'll talk more about Wheelhouse.
I'll bring my guitar.
Yeah, bring your guitar. I'll stand
In
over
one
there.
No,
and
no,
you
I
can-
won't throw it.
Oh, no,
but
okay.
I'll go. Look at
Look
this,
at this.
right?
I appreciate it for sure. And if you haven't gone out to see Papa Wheelee, 14 years you've missed out. 14 years. So now's the time. Go check them out. And I definitely want to come check out the acoustic duo. I've only heard great things about that. So you can catch these guys in multiple formats, acoustic, full band, all over Central Florida. And then if you want your hair metal fix, nobody's fool. Can't beat it. Definitely check it out. I'm a Cinderella fan. I love it. I
really
thank
good.
you guys for watching. I thank you guys for coming.
Thanks for
Yeah,
having me.
thanks
And
for
we'll see
having
you
us.
guys next week.